And there were plenty of Americans who thought that it was, at the very least, incredibly suspicious during 9/11, shortly thereafter, when this segment ran, also back in 2002, on ABC News as an update to a prior segment that they had done. Take a listen.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day and a good weekend, y'all. We got a good one today. We got an hour banger. Ain't gonna do too much talking, y'all. We got a long video coming up. You ready? Ready to get into it? Link down below to my second channel. Make sure you guys go check that out. There will be a video up today. Go show some love over there, y'all. Let's grow that channel. But anyways, I ain't gonna sit here and talk too much. Enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's go and get into the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, y'all.
This pyramid is in Indonesia. I think they found one, and there's another huge one that's in Europe, right in Bosnia. I think it's Bosnia, but they're all over the place. They all had the gold up there that was shooting all the energy up in there. The energy was hitting up there, kind of like we do with communications and SEALs and NEVIS, the near vertical incendiary skywave. So it shoots up like that, it hits, and it goes like this, and all that energy is just being pushed up into the atmosphere. And then in amber, in the amber that they find real deep, and they find it, and they can take the atmosphere, because amber traps whatever atmosphere conditions are on Earth at that time, and then they can test it and see how old it is through whatever other stuff is trapped in it, organics. So I know that this amber is 5,000 years old, and inside of this amber is a little bit of air trapped, and then they test that atmosphere inside the air, and what is it made up of? It's not the same atmosphere we're breathing right now. There's way more oxygen and way more energy in the atmosphere.
You know it's finna get serious, and all these showing all that's finna, man, say they gonna lock you up. It finna get real. I went to a meeting. A lot of y'all don't know this. I'm finna expose. And y'all ain't heard this from nobody. I was sitting in the room with the FBI, the ATF, everybody. They got an organization for every neighborhood. Oak Cliff, East Dallas. I heard them saying people names that I grew up with and know. But they had a task force. They are watching y'all for 3-4 years. They don't know I'm an ex everything. And I'm sitting up and listening to the whole conversation. You gotta know I've been on both sides. They got a task force for the ATL, people running around with people that sell. They got a group of people dealing with every neighborhood. Watch this. Man, they had pictures. I wanted to say, hey man, call some people. They got you, man. They watching you. I'm a pastor, so I can't do that. It would have been like me condoning what they do. You know, that one side of you, you know, you come from the streets. I want to say, hey man, get out the street, man. They finna come get you, man.
Bro, what the fuck? It's legitimately nuts.
Last night was insane. It was the worst tornado outbreak that we have had in over 2 decades. What you saw in the left corner was literally a mom looking for her pups in the rubble and only finding one as of so far, but the damage is like unreal. We'll get back to the damage in a minute. If it wasn't for people like Brandon Copit and like the weather chasers, we wouldn't even have footage like this, but this thing was massive, like so big, and there was, I think, 226 total tornado warnings on the ground in these areas. I mean, there were non-stop tornadoes in the dark as people were sleeping. The top picture was what used to be an apartment complex. Down here we see property houses. There's like completely destroyed in so many places. Entire vehicles were just thrown around like they were toys. And the terrifying part was you could not even see the tornadoes unless there was lightning going off.
See it?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's actually a miracle that some of these places were able to still be standing. The ones that were like directly in the path. It really sucks, man. Weather keeps getting worse and worse. It's like every year we know it's going to be incrementally worse than it was the last year. Make sure you're praying for these people, and might as well just the whole freaking world at this point, because it's getting rough out there.
So, if you don't know what the Kardashians do to be billionaires, I don't know what to tell you. earth to people on my channel. If you're in the cult, so let's look at it as a cult. Let's call the cult Luciferianism, satanic, inverted world religion, perverted, Baphomet. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Call it whatever. Mormonism, all of that. Call it all of that. So the club that they're in gives them the cabal. That's really what they are. And ask yourself why those witches elevated to control everything with they touch their faces. If they really walked their walk, they wouldn't have like the shitty nose job, the diaper in the booty, and they wouldn't have all plastic surgery themselves. Not the oldest one, is it Courtney? Whoever's married to Blink 81 guy. They wouldn't have done all that, but they don't look like themselves. They don't look like themselves. Who are they? Who are they?
Does the Vatican run the world?
Most people don't digest this. They're the largest single stockholder in the world. They own the most property in the world that pays no taxes. There's an organization a lot deeper than them called the Solidarity. It's about 2,000-year-old club, and it's in the catacombs of the Vatican. Most people don't know what I'm telling you.
So they meet down there, you're saying?
That's where they are. They only meet there, period.
Right. Okay.
They're very high-level profile people throughout the world. You get invited to be in it. Who's running the world? I think they are.
Everyone needs to pay attention to what's happening in China right now, because for countries like the United States, it is terrifying. You see, for a while now, cheap shit from China has been the perception of products coming out of the country. And for years, while companies like Tesla blew up, there was a real hesitation to buy Chinese cars. However, fast forward just 5 short years, China has exploded to become the world's largest car producer and exporter in the world. That graph is unbelievable. In fact, last year, China sold 50% more cars abroad than the next largest exporter. Their largest car company, BYD, is now also overtaken Tesla, the world's most valuable car company, in both revenue and sales. And it's only expected to get even crazier, because BYD's new EV factory will span 50 square miles. That's an area larger than the city of San Francisco. And that's a level of production that most simply can't compete with. The thing is, it's not just electric cars. This long game approach that China started working on 15 years ago is seemingly all kicking in now. Just this week, China's flying taxis were granted the world's first operation certificates. For context, that is the final regulatory green light that they needed to start flying, meaning autonomous air taxi services will begin this year in China. This year! China also built the planet's largest high-speed rail network, which is 48,000 kilometers of track in just 15 years. But here's where things get interesting, because Joe Biden attributed China's meteoric rise to unfair business. And hear me out, because he's kind of got a valid point. You see, unlike companies in the West, which are separate from the government, in China, they're kind of not. This means that if the CCP wants to become the world's leader when it comes to cars, they can pour massive amounts of money into companies like BYD. This allows those private companies to rapidly expand in scale, to have aggressively lower prices than the competition, to have reduced financial risk because they've literally got the Chinese government behind them, and then ultimately, as a result, can flood the global market with cars that are not just cheaper than the competition, but more technologically advanced too. And the thing is, consumers don't often care about how a company has arrived to the final product. If it's better and cheaper, most likely it'll just be bought. And that's why the United States and many other countries around the world have implemented up to 100% tariffs on Chinese cars to make them more expensive. Because if they just sat back and let them flood the market, local companies simply couldn't compete, because it's not just an unlevel playing field, it's a whole separate playing field altogether. And that's the tricky problem that we're at now. Consumers in the West are seeing the stuff coming out of China and are asking their government why they are purposefully not allowing them to have it, especially during the cost of living crisis that we're currently in. But the question is, what do you think? Is it fair for a government to protect their local companies from unfair business, kind of like how we break up monopolies? Or should markets simply be left to decide winners and losers naturally?
Hey man, Happy New Year. Bro, New Year's was months ago. That's what they want you to think. What do you mean? The real New Year starts in the spring when everything wakes up. At least that's how it's always been until the Gregorian calendar messed everything up. So how did the Gregorian calendar mess things up? Pope Gregory introduced the Gregorian calendar not to keep time, but to remind folks when to pay taxes. That's why it's called calendar, because in ancient Rome, calends was the day that debts were recorded. Wait a minute. You're saying the calendar was built for taxes? Exactly. And the whole system got thrown off earlier when Julius Caesar and Augustus decided they wanted their own months. That's how we got July and August. Well, why is February so short? Because Augustus wanted his month to be just as long as Julius's, so he stole a date from February. So they reshuffled time to feed their egos. Here I thought they made February short because they were just racist towards Black History Month. But this makes more sense. And that's not even the craziest part. Have you ever noticed the months don't even truly line up to their names? Think about it. September, Septem, 7, but it's the 9th month. October, Octo, 8, but it's the 10th month. November means 9, but it's the 11th month. December, Deca, 10, but it's the 12th month. So they really out here just messing things up. If the calendar was actually accurate, we would have 13 months, not 12. But why 13? Because it follows the natural cycles of the moon's 28 days, which also corresponds to women's menstrual cycles. You see, ancient cultures had it right. They based their calendar based off the moon and the cosmos, not taxes. So every month would be 28 days. Exactly. And the first day of every month would always land on the same day of the week. So we're really just out here living in a system designed to confuse us. And now you see why they call it April Fool's Day.
Where the hell did all the Dalmatians go? Do y'all see Dalmatians anymore?
I haven't seen a Dalmatian, y'all. I don't know how long.
Do y'all? Because I do not see them dogs. No, like, at one point growing up, I used to see Dalmatians all the time. Like, everybody had a Dalmatian. It was like the cool dog to have. And now, I have not seen a Dalmatian in like 10 years. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't know. Did they stop breeding them? Like, I live on the Upper West Side. So, you know, them people, they got money, they like fancy dogs, they gonna buy a Dalmatian. And nobody buys Dalmatians no more, so I had to do some research because I was concerned about the Dalmatians. So let me tell you what I found out.
Heads on tables everywhere in the markets.
Human heads?
Oh yeah, piles of bodies.
Why were there human heads on tables?
Cannibalism. It's voodoo, man.
Cannibalism?
It's West Africa. It is like hardcore.
Do you see that happening?
Every day.
What is it? I mean, you saw fucking cannibalism?
Yeah.
What?
I'd love to have you believe that this type of stuff only happens in movies. But this guy's telling you his experience of what happened and what he saw in Liberia. And also, don't ever think that this stuff doesn't happen in the West. They're banging into this. Whether you want to call it witchcraft or voodoo, it's all the same evil, just different names. You know, they do these rituals and these evil things because they believe it generates power for themselves. And it's been going on since the dawn of time. I have no idea why anyone would ever want to do something like that just to gain power. But you know, I don't think like these demons, because they'll just do anything they can to become powerful.
So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about riding on a robot horse? Well, recently, the Japanese manufacturer Kawasaki recently revealed its latest concept called Corleo, which is a four-legged robot that's powered by hydrogen and equipped with artificial intelligence. And it's designed to be ridden like a horse, like the Riders of Rohan, if the Riders of Rohan were in like Cyberpunk. Now, they showcased this prototype at the Osaka Kansai Expo in 2025, which got a lot of attention and definitely generated a lot of buzz online. Now, obviously, this is still just a concept, and the video that you're watching was all computer generated. It's not actual video recording. According to Kawasaki, the Corleo is designed to operate on rough and varied terrain. As you can see, the machine walks on 4 separate independent robotic legs, which allows it to move with balance and have stability across different surfaces of varying types. Now, according to Kawasaki, the Corleo is going to be powered by a hydrogen engine, which the company confirmed is going to be a 150cc hydrogen motor that generates electricity in order to drive the robot's legs. It's also been described as an off-road mobility platform that uses clean energy to reduce environmental impact while also enabling a user to maneuver around in difficult terrain. Additionally, Kawasaki said that the Corleo does not use traditional control methods. Instead, it reacts to the rider's physical body movements, adjusting its steps when the rider shifts their center of gravity, kind of like the way that a horse would react when you shift your center of gravity. It's going to have built-in rubber hoofs that help grip surfaces, and apparently it's going to be capable of jumping over obstacles. Now, just as like a caveat, the company said that this concept is not supposed to be potentially released on the market until 2050, but it is really cool, and I would like one.
All right, now that's one robot I would get behind on something like that. You imagine going down the mountain on that? That'd be some flying taxis, electric horses. What's next, y'all? What's next?
The Dark Horse. And in that song is basically a chant to Satan, literally just to the devil himself. It's about black magic.
She was a pop star.
She was a pop star. What's funny about her is her career started in gospel music. She was actually very spiritual.
Katy Perry, I remember.
And there's even a video clip of her that if you guys go and search, she's being interviewed and she's like, you know, they ask her like, well, why did you leave gospel? She's like, well, I guess I sold my soul to the devil. And she gives like this weird look. That song, The Dark Horse, is literally talking and singing and praising the demonic realm, Satan himself. Why? She's dressed like Pharaoh of ancient Egypt who practices black magic. And in the original version of the video, there's a man wearing one eye patch, which in Islam, they believe that the Antichrist will have only one eye, physically one eye. He'll have two eyes, but one eye's damaged in Islam's version of Armageddon, right? In this music video, if you guys all go watch it and listen to it, you'll see a man with an eye patch approaching her while she's on a throne impersonating the Pharaoh of Egypt, which is one of the most hated people spiritually by God, period, is Pharaoh, because he's a man that said, I am God on earth, even though he saw the miracles that Moses brought, right? Make the story short, this man approaches in the video and she goes, I'm coming at you like a dark horse. And she goes like this, like, do you believe in magic? She's praising black magic, okay? In that video, she zaps this guy with the eye patch with black magic. Around his neck are a lot of gold chains and jewelry. One of the chains in the original edit of the video actually had the word Allah in Arabic on it. So she zaps this man and he completely dissolves into sand. So the Muslims freeze frame and realize, why would they have the Allah chain, which we believe is universal word for God in Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew.
The Mandela effect is Home Alone.
Number one or number two?
Number one. You know where he's hiding in the nativity scene? So he's running away from the wet bandits. And Merv is like, we need to go into the church.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not going in there.
Why?
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
What does he say next? Because I can't go in there. Because churches creep me out.
Yeah.
Doesn't say it.
What does he say?
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Apparently doesn't say it. I remember him going, yeah, church, ooh, creep me out.
It's crazy that you're 72. Like you look like, I don't know, you look like you're 36 or something.
If you eat 1 meal a day and fast 3 days out of a month, he said, you'll hardly ever get sick. He said, but if you don't want to ever get sick, just eat 1 meal and then nothing the next day and then eat 1 meal every other day. At the most, you may get sick once every 2 or 3 years. But if you want to take it to another level, like the ancient patriarchs that lived to be 1,000 years of age, did you know that before Noah, all the way from Adam to Noah, the average life expectancy for man was 912 years of age? Regular years the way we count them. Adam was 930 when he died. The oldest man in the scriptures named Methuselah, 969. How'd you live to be almost 1,000? He ate 1 meal, fasted 3 days, and then ate another meal. If you eat like that, you will never get sick. Your body will never have enough toxins to even make you sick.
I'm a big believer in fasting. I think now, never getting sick. I think you won't get sick. I don't know about never. I don't know. Longest fast I ever did was 36 hours, and I never felt better in my life, mentally, physically. I was like stoned but sober. I was just sitting on the couch. I remember like, holy crap, my mind hasn't been this chill, ever. And that was just a 36-hour fast, y'all. So I'm a big believer in fasting.
Hey, y'all, when y'all see this face, that I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you, we are about to find out what is the real meaning of Big Mac. Some of y'all gonna be shocked. We getting straight played right in our face. In case you didn't know, let me go ahead and give you the definition of the word Mac. All right? The word Mac, the origins of the word Mac, and its meaning actually means men or son of. The casual term for the word Mac is used as a generic term of address for a man, almost like when people say the word fella or bud. That is the real sense of the word Mac. It means men, son of. So, in plain sight, what is McDonald's telling you that they're selling you? And they call it Big Mac. Just simply remove the word Mac and replace it with the word that it actually means. That's where the truth is hidden. So what they're selling you is a burger that is called Big Man or Big Fella or Big Bud. That's what they're selling you. And they wrote it there in plain sight. Here's a fun fact for all of you. The hog population far outnumbers the cow population. Furthermore, America only has 5 million sheep and 2.5 million goats. And since a lot of people receive their protein from meats, and the majority of meat that is being sold to them primarily is pork, I would stay under caution and I would warn anybody from touching and going near swine. Do not eat that bacon. Do not eat that pork, those ribs, the bacon, the pig meat. That is something that literally people can blend anything with that meat and you would have no idea. It would all just be the same to you. Here's a warning. In Isaiah 66, the Bible says, "They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord." We are called to be separate, my brothers and sisters, as declared in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. The Bible says, "Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you." Diet can hinder you from coming close to God. This is, in other words, what they want you to be like. Big Mac, big men, big fella. Consume. Y'all get it? Man, boy, just drop the truth bomb. I told y'all when y'all see this face, that's gonna happen.
I mean, when you're that big, your mind, your third eye is just saturated, y'all. It's blurry. When you're clean eating in the zone, your mind opens up, get closer with your inner self, and therefore get closer with God. So he's got a point with that one.
He killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the details, Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip Daddy across the head with a bat. His brother had to come out and shoot the gun. Hey, y'all get out. Say, Nip, come on, nigga, we finna come beat you. Because I don't want to pay that $20,000. You say it's over this equipment. But the white folks is pulling me away from the set. That Monday had a meeting with the LA County, with the LA Police Department on gang intervention program before he come up dead. So now Nip and Big U done fill out over $20,000 worth of equipment. So they say. But it's really over $20,000 nigga extortion fee to pay for protection. Yeah, Nip was being extorted too. He had to pay for protection. You think them niggas ain't saying, man, that nigga there, woo, woo, woo? And his brother go shoot at us? That nigga brother pull a gun out on Big U, nigga. His brother nigga, you don't pull no gun out on no nigga. Every street nigga know, nigga, y'all don't give a damn where you shot that gun at. You pulled it out on me, nigga. And Big Black Sam ain't never been down with the set. Black Sam have always tried to pull them niggas out of Nip's business and get him away from the set. But you can't do that, cuz.
Breaking news coming out.
Man, I was listening to some Nipsey Hussle on the way home from Arizona on that long drive, right? And I was like, damn, it is just such a shame. It's always those ones, right? It's always those ones that get offed. I was like, man, because he was just saying some deep, good, investing and doing business and, just life things. Now, I haven't heard all his music. There's only, I skipped through a lot of it because it just doesn't catch me. But the songs that I do listen to and I enjoy from him, it's like, man, it's a shame. He could have really changed some things. And unfortunately, those are the ones that get offed. Just the way it is.
March 30th, 2025, as we're hearing that we could be potentially one step closer to war as there are threats of bombs being dropped, and this is all surrounding a nuclear dispute involving the United States and Iran. Take a look at the latest
They're always
headlines with
saying
me.
that.
Trump threatens bombing if Iran does not make a nuclear deal. You can see this being updated just 3 hours ago. Also, Trump threatens to bomb Iran unless they end nuclear weapons program and begin talks on a new deal. Iran, we are hearing, has rejected the offer of direct U.S. negotiations over rapidly growing nuclear programs. So that is why we are hearing that there are threats of bombings, because this offer of negotiations has been rejected. Iran and the U.S. threat of war, 5 things to watch. Now, this coming out 2 days ago before we had this divulged here, and that is that Iran is rejecting this, and now there are threats of bombs being dropped in the Middle East. And take a look at this. Iran warns the U.S. against strikes, slams Israel strikes on Beirut. This is 3 ways right here: the United States, Israel, and Iran. And take a look. Iran threatens to strike the U.S. bases, and it says they will blow up the Middle East if Trump launches a military action over a nuclear deal, which we're hearing today. This is the exact threat that is coming out. As American stealth bombers, they are being deployed to Chagos Island. We are hearing there are a lot of bombers from the United States that are now in the Middle East. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage, the headlines, the articles, so that way you can see it for yourself. As we're hearing, things have escalated and fast as Trump is threatening to bomb Iran over nuclear disputes that are currently taking place.
So China just basically told Walmart they could kick rocks. You guys know that there has been a new 20% tariff implemented on all goods coming in from China. Basically anything that we here import from the country of China. And Walmart, love them or hate them, they get a lot of stuff from China, like a huge amount of stuff from China. And Walmart was like, listen, let's, we buy a lot from you guys. Let's reach out to Chinese government and say, hey, we're one of your biggest shoppers, because basically that's what it comes down to. Walmart buys shops in China for lower price items to then bring here to the United States to sell to us for lower prices, right? That's the whole gimmick behind Walmart. Well, Walmart reaches out to China and they say, listen, I understand that Trump has put these 20% tariffs on everything that we're going to import from you guys, but we really want to keep our prices low for our clients here in the United States of America and what other country they may be in, right? And they say, we'd like you guys to basically give us a 10% discount. We're not going to ask you to eat the entire amount of the tariff, which is in theory 20%. But Walmart's like, we'd like to, split it down the middle, if you will. You give us a 10% discount. That way, when these tariffs are being paid, it doesn't completely ruin business for both sides, for China and for Walmart, the company itself, which then in theory keeps prices lower for people like you and I and everybody else who goes to Walmart trying to find the most amount of stuff for the least amount of money, right? China heard that and China thought about it and they said, no. You're going to pay the tariffs because we're not going to pay any of these tariffs. If you want the products, you're going to pay the prices and you're going to have to put those prices forward to your customers. Again, meaning you and I. So Walmart's like, well, crap, now we're kind of like a rock and a hard place. We could either try to buy more things from outside of China, other countries, or, heaven forbid, here in the United States of America itself, or we can slowly raise prices for certain things that maybe people won't notice as much. If you raise something 5 cents here, 10 cents there, at the end of the day, the tariffs will basically pay for themselves with the increases that we will give to the American people. I don't know how Walmart wins, and I don't know how Walmart loses here. I don't know what the best option is going to be for them and what it really truly means for you and I. Because Walmart, they've been in business forever and a day. Sam Walton, the original man of Walmart, who was all about everything being made in America and everything was, America this, America that. A lot of people say he's probably rolling over in his grave now because the children and the grandchildren and the whatnots of Sam Walton have turned Walmart into something that he would not recognize. It is filled to the rafters, to the brim, with stuff from other countries and very few American-made products. And the American-made products that are in there obviously are going to cost more than the products that are imported, which is always going to be a weird thing to me when you're paying less to get something from overseas than you are to get something that's made right here in the US of A. But it comes down to a couple different things. One of them obviously being labor. I don't want to say slave labor, but we're going to go with that right now because there is a lot of talk about how companies are paying very, very little money to have things made almost illegally in other countries just so they can get it here and be able to sell it for a cheaper price, which may be why people like to buy from outside of our country and not in our country, because here in the good old US of A, we do have labor laws that must be abided by companies. And when they're not, like, meat manufacturing plants that are, hiring illegal children to work at.
Now, I wonder, I don't know if you guys remember, we did a clip in the past of how, supermarkets and stores like Walmart, Big Lots, some stores that are actually going out of business now don't make much profit. Like you would think, a Walmart would make so much profit because, you know, there's people all day, every day, 24/7 in there buying things, right? Now they say they don't make a lot of profit. I don't know how true that story was. Any fact checkers out there want to check me and let me know down below. Does Walmart make a huge profit? Because with these tariffs coming in, they're going to be losing out on that profit. And I remember there was another clip that they're starting to want to get rid of these Walmarts and start going, you know, online only. So they don't got that overhead. So they just have a warehouse, but they don't have as much employees and whatnot. So I wonder if a lot of these big businesses, because of this, are going to start going out of business more, are going to maybe start getting away from so many Walmarts, like 3 in each neighborhood, and maybe start doing more online. I don't know, y'all. What do you guys think?
This right here shows you that America's about to go into recession, okay? When they
Water.
start calling drinks
Just drink
like
water.
this,
Why are you drinking
orange,
that crap?
it don't even have a name. It's about to be a recession. This is America is being liquidated liquids. These are recession beverages. They're letting you know off top. Go on and get your recession beverage so you can tell your kids, we ain't got Coca-Cola at home. We have kind of flavored water and it's named orange or red at home. That's what you got. That's what you got. Recession beverages.
Okay, forget about it being a direct hit. Forget about the fact it was flying 150 feet above the approved altitude. Forget about the fact that the tracking system was turned off. Forget about them saying Black Hawks don't have black boxes, and then 3 days later, magically, they've discovered the black box. Forget about the fact she was a military aide under Biden. Forget about her dad being the lead researcher at Duke University and specializing in health policy, and it just so happens this occurred on the same day as the RFK hearing. And forget about after serving 2 years in the White House, this was her first flight to get her license back. I want you to forget about all the weird things surrounding this event and just think about this one thing. After the first 2 pilots' names and information was released, they withheld her information for 3 days, citing it was at the family's request. And what did the family do in those 3 days? They wiped all of her social media clean. Number 1, why? Why is that the first thing that you do? Number 2, if anybody's lost a loved one, you know that you have to go through hoops and leaps and bounds to get their social medias removed. You have to show death certificates. You have to show all of these things, obituaries, just to get it removed. But they were able to do it before it was ever even made public. What are they covering up and who helped them get it removed?
Somebody said Louis Pasteur is the one who came up with all of them. He was a Mason too, yes. They're all Masons, they're all fellows, and they're all a lot of 3-letter groups, that's for sure. When you get into all of that whole situation, you see a lot of those scummy people are all part of those groups. They used to be called Masons, then they were called Odd Fellows, but they're all scummy people. All the fires in the 1900s and 1800s, also caused by them as well too. You know, all those secret societies, they were the ones who were orchestrating the fires, burning down towns, you know, damaging all kinds of things, burning down cities, robbing people, and then they were also part of the people who orchestrated the Federal Reserve. So they are a bunch of scumbags, that's for sure. And then Louis Pasteur, same exact thing. He pushed pasteurization, which makes absolutely no sense, and then on his deathbed said that pasteurization isn't true. So they're scummy people, that's for sure. And all of the whole thing with the same exact thing. Very scummy people. When you look up their history and you look up their ideas, you sit there and go, how would anybody believe this? Well, anybody who didn't believe it, they would put in jail. That's kind of why that stuff was pushed.
I thought they was lying when they said that the people are selling us fake bread. I really thought they was lying. But this bread is actually not freaking real. I balled it up and it opened right back up 3 times. I'm going to ball it up again for you all just so you can see that this is not real bread. Balled it up tight as I can. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. It's gonna open itself right back up. And I tried this with another piece of bread, a different brand, and it did not do it. This bread opened right back up like it was nothing. This is sad. This is scary. Barely can see the creases where I folded it. This is scary.
Out of Jim Carrey called me up last week. I talked to him for 5.5 hours. He's like begging me to like get a deal with Q. Like he's afraid of the fucking brackets. I'm like, and it's just like yammering on with the crap, but like not owning up or doing anything fucking meaningful. Meanwhile, just lying to everybody. Guys, you are fucking cowards. You're going down. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna fucking die. You can't get over that shit. That's a death sentence. You cannot fucking live. But what I'll tell you that you can do is possibly save your soul.
China has entered the era of dark factory.
Who has?
God.
China. Dark factory.
It's a fully automated factories with no workers and no lights.
Because they don't need them because they're robots.
The factories run 24/7 in the dark.
Dude, imagine just walking in there, pitch dark, and you just hear all the noise.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Look at your...
Whoa.
Are these cars?
Those are robots.
No, what are they making? Shut up.
Isn't that crazy though? It's
Yeah.
super creepy.
Yeah, I don't like that, man.
It's very Matrix feeling.
It's kind of cool though when they're doing the zapping and you can see it like a fireworks.
That's all we care about at the end of the day. It's fun though.
We are
See, I wonder if that's what it's going to turn into. The Walmarts, you know, I mean, Amazon's probably bigger than Walmart, right? And they're 100%. You can get groceries on Amazon, and they're 100% online. Like, there's not an Amazon store you can go and shop at. So I'm pretty sure the Walmarts, the Targets that have all these stores and people coming in and out, breaking things and slipping, falling, suing, all these things, employees, dark robot, you got to think that's where it's going. You have to think that's where it's going to be soon, y'all.
The whole pieces and now
That's crazy. She just goes on about business.
oh my god.
Laughing.
This is actually what's happening every day and every moment, every minute here in the north of the Gaza Strip. The wars come back, and day by day, the situation is going to become more worse and worse.
You remember the Conjuring movie that came out? Do you remember that movie, Conjuring? They had the Conjuring 1 and the Conjuring 2. This was in Riverside, California. I went to the movie theater. They had a priest, a pastor, and somebody for the exorcism to stand outside after the movie to cast out any demons that were placed into anybody for that movie. A lot of teenagers went to see that movie. A lot.
It was a scary movie too.
Okay. You go back in generations. I was talking to my mom and an angel about this earlier, and you guys had Bloody Mary. Was it Bloody Mary?
Okay.
Bloody Mary, you say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. There was before that, there was Beetlejuice. Every time of these situations, they are going after the kids. This always pops up in a kid's face. This always pops up on a kid's platform. This always pulls in the children.
Well, it's happened. Not only are the tariffs affecting the car prices, but have shut down the whole dealership. Lights are out, power's out, everything's gone.
I started watching Passion of the Christ on Netflix, but switched to digital due to no commercials. Now watch the beginning of this.
Bible verse.
Just as we remembered. Now let's go to Netflix and see if you see anything different.
No verse.
And no, this is not on pause. This is live. Interesting. Why do you think they cut out the Bible verse?
Like, who's behind all these things? Who's pulling these strings? Netflix does a bunch of crazy. Same thing with Christmas, y'all. You remember Netflix on Christmas? I couldn't find no Christmas movies. The only Christmas movies they had were like from the 50s and 60s that are in black and white. Like, don't nobody want to watch those, right? They didn't have no Christmas. They didn't even have a Christmas section. Halloween flooded with Halloween movies, flooded with them, all of them. They got a whole horror page, right? Like, who's pulling these strings? Who's pulling these strings when that football player at the end of the playoff game, would like to thank Jesus Christ, and they blocked it out, right? Who's pulling these strings that you can't put? I forgot, what was it on the Coca-Cola can? You can't put like Jesus on there or something, but you can put Satan. Like, who's pulling these strings, y'all? Who is in control? Who is it? Because that's some dark stuff, y'all. That's scary stuff.
Are great until you realize how dark the ocean gets at night. Now, I've done a video about this a little while back, and it's got 2.8 million views and counting. And most of the comments are, well, what do you expect? It gets dark at night. But it's completely different when you're on a cruise ship. It's like, unless you've been on a cruise ship, you're not going to understand how dark it gets at night. And then they say, all you're doing is sharing a swimming pool. So it's kind of because there is nothing to see if you look overboard at night, because it's absolutely pitch black. It's the blackest black you've ever seen. So I'll actually show you what it looks like when it's pitch black.
Be creepy to see.
This is looking over the balcony.
I'm freaked out just looking at it.
Ship. Absolutely pitch black. I mean, is it really worth me doing a 1 minute video of looking out to sea at night in the pitch black? I don't think so. So there you go. See you in the next one.
It is crazy how they have normalized. Like, when I mean they, I'm talking about the evil mother buggers who decided to infiltrate every aspect of our life and wipe our fucking memory about it. Because I promise you that the world we live in was never, ever supposed to be this way. Like, this is by design. It is impossible. Oh no, this is evolution, like buildings and cars and, no. Do you understand how divine we are? Literally, like, I'm watching all these people go in and out of the grocery store, and I just see programming running its course. I just see people who have accepted that you need to go buy a bunch of little food for your little recipes during the week, and then you got to do it again the next week. It's just, there's no awareness and there is no connection, and we are literally beings who crave connection. Like, we need to be around other people. We need to be around nature. Like, you already know these things. You're watching this video because you're in the exact same boat as I am. But it's honestly quite sad. It is sad that so many people are part of a system that is meant to, like, lower their consciousness, and they have no idea. So I think in these types of days where I feel low-key a little bit discouraged with being alive, I'm just so, like, oh my god, too much. It makes so much sense, because we were literally implanted here. Like, this is not our nature. Hence why we feel like, So you're not actually going crazy. You were just recalibrating to the truth of your nature. And you absolutely need to read my ebook, How to Not Lose Your Shit After Unplugging from the Matrix, because we're all trying to not lose our shit after realizing that we are in a created simulation of a human experience, and it is quite literally making our souls fucking sick. Because we're all connected and everyone is, like, plugged in. And this hurts because we're, it's just, oh my god.
So I don't know if you guys saw what CNN did yesterday, but they literally put an orange filter on Donald Trump during his speech. And people had multiple TVs up comparing CNN to Fox and, like, other news channels, and his skin was normal on the other ones and bright orange on CNN. Because they want to keep that same, like, orange man bad agenda. And I don't know how people are still watching CNN. How could you watch a channel that is so biased? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Get them on the right. That's
Like, if
cold-blooded.
they're doing simple things like that, imagine how much brainwashing they're doing to their viewers. It's really, like, mind-boggling. Like, people are sick.
I've always told you guys that when I was young and single, before I had my wife and family, with just about a shot over there, my beautiful children, I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a Never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes. And of course, I'm now going to have the opportunity to defend these charges in court, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. In the meantime, you lot, stay free, and we will be continuing to discuss this matter. Praise the Lord.
So you were only in one of the Iron Men.
Just on one.
And what caused it not to come back? Because you were.
They said they were going in a different direction in the character, because my character was supposed to take over the franchise, but Robert did such a brilliant job that they were like, okay, that's why they hired me first, because my character was supposed to be Rhodes and was supposed to take over. So
right.
it was the most important part of it. But with the work that Robert did was so phenomenal. I mean, I became a fan of his for life, but he was so phenomenal that he was able to continue that walk.
So on the second one, Rob, what does it say? That
$10 million up front.
To who?
To Robert Downey Jr., as well as
Okay.
back-end deals tied to the film's performance. And then for the third one, salary of $10 million with total earnings reportedly reaching $50 million, which include profit participation.
Man,
I will say he earned it. I'm not mad at him. I should have watched my back door. I was so busy trying to help other people. I should have watched my own back door, and that's a lesson that you've got to learn. You just can't take it personal.
I don't give a fuck about the people that's lost in the system. I care about the people that's trying to wake up. So the people that's lost, fuck them, let them stay lost, because we need them to stay lost in order for some to wake up. Because for those that's woke, they won't understand and they look at those that sleep, that's running around in that little cycle, right? All they do is celebrate birthdays, holidays, Christmas, go to work, get a job, come home and die. That's what I'm on. That's their life. So anybody think that's a good life to live, let them live that life and die, come back in a new body. You don't give a fuck about them, right? But for those that are at home thinking like this can't be right, but just don't know how to make it all right, they should talk to me. I got some help for them. I came with a sword like Jesus. I'm not pushing no peace, gang. I'm in a spiritual war. I'm fighting the devil. I didn't come here to play. I didn't come here for no peace. Nigga locked me in prison. Ain't no motherfucking peace, gang. I'm locked in this body. Ain't no peace. Stop playing on me. If a nigga stupid enough to get controlled, let him be controlled then. Stop playing on me. Let him die. Let him come back in a new body. I don't give a fuck about them, gang. Listen, gang. The people in power should be in power, and the people that's down should be down. Fuck them, let them stay down. Right? Nigga, I'm not Martin Luther King. I didn't come here for that. Right? I came here for the people that want to go. If you don't want to get on my ship, stay in the water then, drown, bitch. Yeah, I ain't pushing no peace, gang, J-Man. Jesus said, sell your house and get a sword, gang. He said, we going to war, gang. He said, get a sword. Stop playing on me. Yeah, I got a sword. But it look like a switch.
That's called gravity. Is not a fundamental force. That's the number one. Gravity is an emergent property of a particle system of magnetic force. So we can say gravity is a second effect of electromagnetic body.
Your face, yeah. Yo, these kids, yo. You can't tell me this kid is not 56 on the dot. Look at these kids, man. Look at them.
You talk about Snow White, right?
Yeah.
Like
Do you guys watch the movie?
No, of course not.
It's not for me. I don't
But,
rage watch movies. Like, everyone's like, Jeff, I can't wait to hear your opinion on Barbie. I'm like, I know it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm not going to do a 2-hour episode about how I watched a movie I knew I'd hate.
The dwarf thing was weird, though, because that is kind of weird. Because why
Right?
didn't they hire dwarves?
Mm-hmm. And it's really weird because their whole premise was like
inclusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Weird.
then they didn't include the 12 main characters. It's one of the million like double standards
Yeah, it
that you
doesn't
can
make sense.
find.
Right, yeah.
What's the main girl's name?
Rachel
Zegler?
or Zegler,
Yeah,
whatever,
I think she became more famous than the movie itself.
Oh, sure.
She's
Do
a
you think
very
this-
talented actress.
She's great.
First of all,
She's great. Oh, yeah. She's
But
great.
second of all, it's all her like weird little opinions that she's so used to getting a little cookie, a little pat on the head every time she says something bad about men or whatever.
yeah.
So like now that's become her thing.
Also,
Like,
she's that generation of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
she's
25
baffled
or
that
something.
people aren't liking
Yeah.
when she says this
Yeah.
isn't about love,
But
it's about a
everything
boss
should be
bitch.
equal.
You're like, no, it's not boss bitch.
Yeah. If you can't look at somebody like her when she's talking about that stuff and think,
oh, something's up.
oh
Yeah, yeah.
boy, you're lying.
You're right.
You're lying. She's off. Also, let's not forget this. I don't even really give a fuck about your opinions. Don't be annoying about it.
Yeah.
Don't be fucking
Well,
annoying.
why bring
This
why-
is Snow White the
You're
premiere.
supposed to be promoting Snow
Yeah,
White,
yeah.
who's the fairest of them all.
Yeah.
The point of Snow White was that she transcends all these things. Her purity is what makes everything
Yeah.
good in the movie.
Yeah.
She's not like one of these, I don't care, I don't give a
the patriarchy. That's not Snow White. But like when we got the woman who's talented enough to be cast to play Snow White on the red carpet in these interviews, she's the little feminist, and you're like, but this isn't Snow White.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
She's
that's
not
not
getting
match.
a kiss from a guy. Guys,
She was making a
That's
joke
why-
about how they should cut the guy out of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And I find it fine. It's a joke,
As
whatever.
a joke, but like
it's
that's
just,
not Snow White.
And there's no
Because kids are supposed to go watch Snow White, right? She's talking to like 20, 30-year-old people, right? But it's for kids. But I think I got out of the Snow White. Remember Mama Bear wanted to watch it? She hasn't spoke of it in a while. I haven't said nothing. And we're going to keep it that way.
Why you couldn't have a multi-impact event over the ice sheet. There have been dozens and dozens of theories, even going back to the 1800s, as to the origin of drumlins. Virtually all of them are based upon somehow the glaciers themselves shaped the subglacial till. In the 1980s, a geologist by the name of John Shaw, he was a Canadian geologist, proposed that they were actually created by catastrophic subglacial floods. And mainstream never accepted his theory, even though it made the most sense, because the volume of meltwater you're talking about is so extreme, there's no way we can explain it. Well, maybe there is a way you can explain it, which is hypervelocity impacts. The number of hypervelocity impacts that we're now discovering in the history of this planet is extraordinary. And there's no reason why you couldn't have a multi-impact event over the ice sheet.
Until you start putting the money back into the school system, pay the teachers what they're really worth, and this should happen all over the country because they just haven't spent the money to encourage people to learn and to make it okay to be smart. It hasn't been okay to be smart in the United States for centuries. Unless somebody in the media says, you know what, if we made it look like it was okay to have brains and still be an American, and that was an ideal thing to do, then maybe kids would be interested in learning. But instead of that, what they've done is they've made the schools poor, they've made them weak, they've paid the teachers a substandard salary, which means that the good ones took off and went into do something else because, you know, who wants to put up with that kind of abuse, and who loses?
Isn't it part of the problem that Palestine is not a state? Like,
that's like the whole problem.
The whole thing is like you can never come to peace if you never even acknowledge they exist.
We're going into like 60 years of complete Israeli control over these people. And under Israeli control, they have zero rights whatsoever. I mean, like, they don't have the freedom of movement. They don't have freedom to trade with the outside world. They don't have voting rights. They don't have the right of due process because the Israelis are just constantly slowly stealing more of the Palestinians' land. If like an Israeli settler in the West Bank, in the same jurisdiction, gets in a dispute with a Palestinian there, the Israeli goes to a trial. The Palestinian goes in front of a military trial. If he's lucky enough to get that, they have something like a 99% conviction rate. You're just totally I think you're essentially right. You can't expect a group of people to just be subjugated for eternity and nobody's going to try to violently fight back. And of course, when they non-violently try to fight back, that gets squashed too. That gets met with violence.
And there were plenty of Americans who thought that it was, at the very least, incredibly suspicious during 9/11, shortly thereafter, when this segment ran, also back in 2002, on ABC News as an update to a prior segment that they had done. Take a listen.
In the days after the September attacks, there were countless rumors about strange coincidences surrounding the events. One report about a group of Middle Eastern men spotted the morning of September 11th parked just across the river from New York City has not gone away. Investigation of their presence has led to questions about whether Israel was conducting espionage on U.S. soil. We're joined now by ABC's John Miller with an exclusive report this evening.
That's right, Elizabeth. This is a case that took the FBI and the CIA more than 2 months to sort out, while 5 Israelis waited in jail. It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey. She noticed 3 men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy. You know, they didn't look shocked to me. You know, they didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men. All 5, it turns out, were Israeli. They were turned over to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence. At the FBI, that set off alarm bells. The FBI needed the answers to three important questions. Who were these men? What brought them to that parking lot on the morning of September 11th? And did they have any advance knowledge of what was going to happen that day? The men said they were just taking pictures at the time. They said they worked for a company called Urban Moving. The FBI obtained a search warrant for the company's offices.
2 SUVs were filled up with between 9 and 12 boxes and computers.
Not long after the arrests, the offices of Urban Moving were simply abandoned. Almost everything was left behind. In jail, the 5 Israelis were repeatedly interrogated and given lie detector tests. Stephen Gordon was their American lawyer.
They were asked questions if they had ever been approached by or hired by any non-United States intelligence community.
While there is still some debate among American intelligence officials, many investigators believe some of the men were part of an Israeli operation aimed at monitoring radical Islamic charities that support groups like Hamas, something lawyers for the 5 men and the Israeli government strongly deny. The 5 Israelis were deported, leaving some ruffled feathers among both U.S. and Israeli officials.
All right, guys, so nothing to see there. Obviously, you'd be a conspiracy theorist if you had any questions about that. You actually would be worse. You'd probably be anti-Semite if you had any questions about a foreign government overseas that had people who were attached to their intelligence apparatus who were celebrating and taking photos as the towers burned and American citizens were dying.
Rare photos. This person managed to carve the entirety of the alphabet into the tip of a single pencil. The glass frog has translucent skin, allowing you to see its internal organs. A Roman Colosseum carved into a real tooth. A U.S. Navy submarine being controlled with an Xbox controller. This is the world's longest insect at over 2 feet long. Lobster diver in hospital after being swallowed and spat out by a large humpback whale. This person opened a banana peel to discover a rare double-conjoined banana inside. The script for Grand Theft Auto 3 versus the script for Grand Theft Auto 4. A prisoner spent 5 years secretly digging a tunnel to escape only for the tunnel to end up in the guard room. In Denmark, if you reach the age of 25 and aren't yet married, you get tied to a chair and pelted with cinnamon. Bangkok University makes students wear anti-cheating helmets during midterm exams. This praying mantis embedded in amber is about 30 million years old. A Russian mother of a dead soldier received a meat processor as a gift from local authorities. A Venezuelan comic fan modified his body to...
What day was the last TikTok ban? January 19th, this year. What date was that big DC anti-Trump protest? January 19th, the day before inauguration. What date is the new TikTok ban? April 5th. And what day is the new big protest happening in DC? April 5th.
Oh, yeah. We have another 75 days of Segovia Reacts to TikTok reactions. Hopefully it keeps going. We'll see. But we got 75 days, y'all. Forgot to tell you guys that in the beginning.
Random questions, but I'm just curious. What comes first? The TikTok ban or the protests? And is it all a ploy so there's no media coverage on these protests? I'm thinking too much. I need to lie down.
Well, what's happening with the market right now is pretty crazy. The stock market is crashing, and a lot of my clients are asking me why. The U.S. government owes $36 trillion. This is how much money is owed. Out of the $36 trillion, $9 trillion of it is due for refinance. So the government has to refinance $9 trillion worth of debt in 2025.
What the fuck is going on here?
And what the government is trying to do, Elon Musk and President Trump, and what they're trying to do is cut spending and increase productivity so that we can offset the deficit from 2 trillion to zero. And when we get to zero, inflation will stop. You create uncertainty into the market, you scare people. The masses buy bonds, it lowers the bond rate, And when the rate drops, you refinance this $9 trillion of debt. And when you refinance, the payment goes lower, so the $2 trillion deficit shrinks.
I think it's a dangerous game that Israel is playing. You know, part of the effectiveness of AIPAC and the rest of the Israel lobby apparatus is that it was done in secret for a very long time, right? People didn't know about it, right? Or at least the general public didn't know about it. And now more and more people are finding out about it. And I don't think the majority of Americans like the idea of being controlled by a foreign government. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why Trump, in his address to Congress last week, did not, he mentioned Israel one time, and it was only in reference to some kind of Iron Dome. He called it a golden dome, which is kind of hilarious.
Golden dome.
Yes, we need to do a golden dome. And that's the only time he talked about Israel. He didn't talk about Gaza. He didn't talk about anything about sending weapons there, even though he's doing it, because he knows it's deeply unpopular. So I think the public is moving in that direction of like awakening to this issue, where there seems to be a lot of influence coming from a foreign entity here. We don't like that. So
no compromise, made in front of you.
So you grew this chicken in these tanks behind us,
Yes.
without ever slaughtering a chicken?
You could ask me that 1,000 times, and the answer is yes, yes, yes. We grew it right here. They're getting the oxygen.
His company, Upside Foods, just received clearance from the USDA to start selling their meat, made at this production center in Emeryville, California.
We'll be able to produce 50 to 75,000 pounds of meat every year right away.
Purified. No, I don't touch any purified water. So all this bread.
Wait, what's wrong with filtered water?
So when it says purified water on the labels or distilled water, I would never touch that. That means it's nothing else than actually boiled up tap water. I'm always saying, when water is pure, don't drink it. Because water needs minerals. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, silica, all these amazing minerals what your body actually needs. When you would drink pure water, water will look for minerals and it will find minerals in your body. So that means it pulls out of the body and you're losing extra minerals by drinking water.
Okay, my mind is actually blown.
So the World Health Organization is actually saying you should not drink that because you could jeopardize your health on a long time.
Did you both know that already?
Oh, yeah. So all these purified water brands who are selling themselves, no, this is the most purest water ever and this is so cool and pure, that's all bull for me. That's the worst thing on planet Earth, to call a water completely pure. There's a TDS to every single water on this planet. TDS stands for total dissolved solids. So the higher the TDS level is, the more powerful will be tasting the water.
If you want to get lean, nutrition has to be dialed. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. Now, once you have nutrition dialed, walking can literally turn you into a fat-burning machine. If you can just start walking more, you will get lean a lot faster. In fact, walking burns a moderate amount of calories. You're not going to burn as much as running, but it doesn't increase your hunger. It doesn't deplete your recovery abilities. And so if you can just train yourself and just learn to just walk daily. 10,000 steps is a good starting point. 12,000 is really good. And 14 is, I find, when you really become that fat burning machine and just the fat melts off, as long as you have your nutrition dialed.
This is on Netflix Kids, man. Scooby-Doo. I want y'all to watch this. What?
That's enough of that sassy smart talk, young lady. I gotta
Hold on a second.
and I want some questions.
Questions about what?
Daphne, stop fighting us. We're here to help you.
In what world? How is this on Netflix Kids? Netflix for my kids to watch it. My kids actually watch little Scooby-Doo sometimes. I mean, what? Hold on.
You're done. I don't even know her.
What?
Tell me what's going on.
There was a break-in at the armory last night.
That's impossible. Velma and I were with them at their campsite on the beach the whole time. That's what I've been trying to tell them. All of the wild dudes stay there the whole night.
You went camping with monsters?
What's really going on, Netflix?
Like, my mom's friends will be like, you don't party, you don't do all this crazy stuff. Like, you're in your 20s. Like, go live and be free. Why would I do what every other person is doing if I want a different outcome than everyone else has? Like,
Have you seen what Tom Hanks been posting lately? He's been finding a lot of stuff lately. As you can see, he took a picture of a sandal. And then in one of his other pictures, he took a picture of a pacifier. Then he found a couch with a sneaker on it. I guess this is a garage sale and they just selling this stuff or they giving it away. Then he took a picture of 2 gloves by a sewer.
So
It's pretty
weird.
cool. Then he finds a glove by his truck. He probably dropped that while he was taking the picture. Then he takes a picture of a sock. I don't know why, but he's taking pictures of things, guys. He also took a picture with a glove by a window, and this thing right here says True Temper. I don't know what that is. Then he finds a glove that somebody probably dropped, like a handyman that was working. And what's wild about this is that I have those same type of gloves. Those gloves are really good. A lot of picture of gloves, man. This guy must collect gloves. I ain't gonna front. I got a few myself. You've been my favorite actor since Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run. That was an amazing movie. Tom Hanks put his work in, man. Great actor, amazing person. I watched all his movies growing up. This dude's the truth. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just letting everybody know what Tom Hanks been up to lately. He's been finding a lot of stuff and posting it. I guess he's about to start selling it online. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, guys, so that's what he's been up to. He's been posting that on IG. I've been trying to comment to his pictures, but he set it up to where you can't comment on his pictures. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm out here.
Ask the children of Gaza. Ask the children of Gaza if they're terrorized, then they have F-16s.
Why have they been moved to Egypt like the Ukrainian children?
We are the terrorists. America,
why are they
Britain, and
there,
Israel.
the children? Why are the children not in Egypt?
Calm down.
You won't answer that.
The children are wetting their beds at night. If it was your child who was wetting his bed at night,
have left Ukraine.
You would have to tell them that, oh, I'm sorry, the terrorists are the reason why they're allowed to bomb you as a child.
You won't answer the question, will you? Because you got no answer.
Shut up for a minute.
It's all right.
Why have you suddenly, as an ex-Marine, become a fan of terrorists?
Okay, weapons of mass destruction, Iraq, 2 million dead. That was a lie.
So you
that
were a
was
terrorist.
terrorism.
You were a Marine.
We have Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State of the United States, who said, quote, 500,000 dead children was, quote, worth it. That's terrorism.
So you were a terrorist.
The United States has dropped Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the firebomb of Dresden. We can go on and on. Terrorism, by its legal definition, has not been prosecuted. That's called impunity, and it's because of impunity that we sit here today. And if, by the way, any of those nations which we have bombed and genocided and supplied the weapons to do that, decide to come over here, well, what do you reckon? What do you reckon? Would you sit by and do nothing while your country was being bombed? While it was all based on lies, weapons of mass destruction much? No, I would fight.
You might as well go, because quite frankly, there's nothing else to say, because you actually would support terrorists and the enemies of freedom if they attacked us. You've just said it.
One day you should settle down and marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man, you know? Settle down and marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man. You know, it's like, I don't have to marry one.
From a hot man to one of the hottest women in the business right now, Megan Fox with me now. Why do you shake your head?
Because I'm pretty sure I'm a doppelganger for Alan Alda.
Oh, God, out of here.
I'm a tranny. I'm a man.
You do not look in the mirror.
Everybody knows that you're a very attractive woman, but tell us, what would surprise people about Jessica Alba?
I'm a man.
Love Kanye. People are mad at him. What he's doing is wild, but when you see a homeless person in the street and they talking to themselves, you can't be mad at them. Something wrong. They sick.
Right.
Kanye, something wrong with him. And people, I don't listen to the homeless man yelling stuff and think, oh,
right.
He don't mean that. It's just coming out, right? So somebody needs to
grab him.
Somebody, yes, you need an uncle.
Right.
Grab him. Hey, come here, boy. Let me talk to you. You don't say that. You don't do that. Somebody who he loves and respects.
Right.
Does he have that in his life? I don't know.
Right.
But I love Kanye. He's a musical genius.
Be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you treat people, man. You know what I'm saying? See, it's certain people that God don't play about. I happen to be one of them people. You know what I'm saying? Be careful how you treat people, man. There's a scripture in the Bible that say, touch not my anointing and do my prophets no harm, man. You don't know who God got on assignment. You know what I'm saying? And if God put them on assignment, there's nothing you can do. You can't come with your hate. You can't come with your negativity. You can't come with your bad words. None of that. Nothing you're gonna try to do to harm them or stop them from fulfilling what God got for them is gonna prosper. That's what that scripture means. No weapons formed against them shall prosper, and every tongue that accuses them in judgment shall be condemned. See, a lot of y'all be putting y'all mouth on people and don't even realize this is God's anointed. That's why the moment you say something bad, the moment you try to come against them, all hell break loose in your life. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, God really likes me. Be careful how you treat me, man. You know what I'm saying? Be careful how you treat me.
I like how he put that there, y'all. But with that being said, We have come to the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. Busy day today. Yesterday, relaxed all day. Didn't do nothing. Had my pajamas on all day. Rainy day. Today it's going to be cold, but sunny. While I was gone, major dust storm hit. So my patio, my front porch, my garage is full of dust. Mama Bear's leaving to her family's house. So that's my time to go out there and clean, get everything cleaned up. Might take a trip to Harbor Freight. That's usually what I do on my free time. Harbor Freight, maybe a little hike later. Go cook some carne asada. That's the plan today, y'all. That's Sunday for me. What do you guys got going on for your Sunday, y'all? Let me know down below. Love Sunday is one of my favorite days, y'all. So let me know what you guys got going on for your Sunday. With that being said, if you guys made it this far, like I said, second channel, links down below. The video is going to pop up right here. Click on that video. Go show some love over there. Y'all, let's get that channel over there. Let's get it going, y'all. Let's get it going. But anyways, this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Later.